Okay, everybody, I'm going to be doing a film study on Tapia today. Now, most of you probably don't know him, and that's fine, because my channel is mainly about studying fighters who you probably don't know, okay? I could do a film study on Floyd, I can do a film study on Pacquiao, on Triple G, but you know, those are pretty popular fighters. And I know that it'll be repetitive because there are other channels that has already done that. So I want to do something different and look at different fighters, because I think the frame of reference for most young fighters today are very narrow, and they only watch the most popular fighters. They don't look at some of the fighters in the past. So let's start off with parrying, and we'll look at his right glove here. So watch his right glove. It's actually exposed right in front of his face. And what does that do? That makes it closer to the left glove of his opponent, so that when his opponent jabs, he can just parry it real quick. So as you can tell here, his opponent is going to jab, and because it is in front of his face, it doesn't have to do a whole lot of movement. It's right there, you know. See it here. He does the same thing. Look at his glove. It's actually exposing his face. He doesn't put his right glove on his face, but that's fine because he manages the distance so well and he moves his head so well. He doesn't really need to keep that glove on his face. So he keeps it further away from his face so that he can use that to actually parry the jabs of his opponent. You see it again here. The positioning of the glove, again, it's not right on his face. It's actually sitting in front, further in front. And that makes him ready and prepared to always parry whenever his opponent throws a jab. Now, the second one that I want to look at is actually his liver shot. If you watch his fights, you know, Tapia has one of the best liver shots. You know, a lot of y'all only know Miguel Cotto, Mickey Ward, Triple G, but man, this motherfucker has a nasty left hook as well. And we'll see how he does it. We'll see how he times it. So here you'll see he'll actually fake a right hand. 1, 2, and then he's gonna force his opponent to duck. So you see that? He fakes the right hand twice, he forces his opponent to duck. Now when you're ducking, there are two things that happens, okay? Number one, you lose your vision, okay? And number two, you're very susceptible to the body because your hands tends to go everywhere. And again, you won't see that shot coming. So here, he's gonna fake the right hand to force his opponent to duck under. He doesn't throw it, and because his opponent is in a ducking position, he's not gonna see the shot coming, so he throws a liver shot. So you'll see the same thing here. Again, here, he throws a hook, which he misses, to the head. He throws a hook to the head, and then his opponent ducks, okay? Now, when you're ducking, look at your gloves. Most of the time, your gloves will be up high on your head, and you'll be open to the body, and your eyes are gonna be down as well, so your vision will be affected, and you won't see this shot coming. And so watch him throw that liver shot right there. See it again for yourself here. He's gonna miss a hook, opponent ducks under, he times it with the liver shot. Last one here. Again, here he throws the right hand, his opponent ducks. When you duck, number one, your gloves are gonna be so up high that you're not gonna be able to block your body, and your eyes are gonna be down, so you won't see that shot coming. And then he just throws that liver shot there. Next up, we'll have his defense. We'll look at his defense and how he switches stance when he pulls back and when he leans his body back to actually balance himself, to maintain his balance. So see that here. I'll show that to you here. Here you'll see his opponent throw a hook, which he's gonna pull. Now, what's the problem with the pull and why is it so risky? The pull is so risky because you may be off balance and your opponent might catch you with a good shot. Have you ever seen this? Yes, you see this often in Naseem Hamed and in Adrian Broner. You know, when they pull, most of the time they lose balance and they get caught. You know, watch Broner versus Maidana, that's exactly what happened. And watch Nassim Hamed versus Barrera, that's also what happened. And so the adjustment that Johnny Tapia makes is he actually switch his stance to keep his balance. So here, he's gonna pull back, opponent's gonna throw a hook, and in order to keep his balance going, he's gonna take that left foot and he's gonna switch into a southpaw stance for a little while, and he's gonna come back to his original orthodox stance. So there it is. Look at this again. Here, kind of like a Nassim Hamed move, right? But Nassim Hamed kind of gets off balance most of the time, so he also does this. But we're talking about Johnny Tapia today. Here again, he's gonna pull back, and in order to maintain his balance, he's gonna take that left foot and switch into a southpaw stance. He's gonna do the same thing again here. Much more subtle, he's not as off balance, but he pulls back, and in order to maintain his balance, he's gonna switch into a southpaw stance for a while, and then he's gonna come back to the orthodox stance. We'll look at lateral motion now in two ways. Number one, how to use lateral motion to control the distance, and how to use lateral motion motion with head movement. So here you'll see Tapia retreat. He's gonna move back a little bit. Now for most people, they're gonna keep moving back. But what's the problem when you just move back? The problem is if your opponent keeps on moving forward, he's gonna keep on throwing punches. What does Johnny Tapia do to prevent that? He actually takes a step to the right and he steps over to the right. And he moves laterally, you know? He takes that step back and then he moves to the right. You see that? This is very useful for two reasons. Number one, when you're getting trapped to the ropes, you can't get stuck in there. You gotta move side to side. You gotta move to the right or to the left. You can't stay there, or else you're gonna be cornered. And number two, when you do this, you'll actually be more predictable, and your opponent won't hit you as much. Even if you're not in the ropes, this also applies when you're just in the center of the ring. You cannot step back because your opponent will just keep on throwing punches, especially if they're going forward. And so look at what Johnny Tapia does here. Once he gets onto the ropes, he actually moves to the side, to the right. And his opponent kind of stops there. Last one here, again, he's gonna do the same thing. He's gonna take a slight step back, but then because he's now in the ropes, he's gonna change the angle, he's gonna change the direction, and he's gonna move to the side. Combining lateral motion with distance. Last one here is gonna be combining lateral motion with head movement. And what does he do here? He actually slips to the side, and then he uses that to move to the side. And so I'll explain it here. Watch Johnny Tapia. He's gonna crouch down, he's gonna slip that punch, he's gonna slip to the right, and then he uses his momentum over to his right leg, and then he takes a step to the side, and then he moves laterally. Watch that again. Here he slips to the right, and he uses his momentum to shift his weight onto his right leg so that his right leg can actually move rightwards and take a side step, and then there he moves to the right. Now we'll look at that from the left side. He'll do the same thing here, but here he's gonna slip to the left, and he's gonna use his upper body momentum on the left. He's gonna transfer it to his left leg, and he's gonna use that momentum to move to the left. So watch it again here. As you move your upper body to the left, your weight, the weight of your body automatically shifts to the left leg. And by virtue of that, you know, it's gonna be easier for you to take a side step to the left. Where do you see this often? You see this in Lomachenko whenever he tries to slip a punch. Whenever he slips to the right, his weight shifts to the right and he takes a side step. Whenever he slips to the left, his weight shifts to the left and he takes a side step to the left. And so he moves laterally here. So it's all about weight distribution, you know, where do you put your weight on? Because once you put your weight on your left leg, it's very easy to take a side step to the left, just like what he did here. Transitioning from head movement to lateral movement. All right, guys, that was it. One take. That was one take. Uncut, raw. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. This quarantine, I'm going to be more consistent with my upload, so expect more content. And hopefully you watch them all. Hopefully you enjoy them. And if you have any requests for any fighters, go ahead and leave them in the comment section. I'll see you guys soon.